Very good evening, guys and girls. Just after 7 p.m. on a Thursday evening here at the Massey House. Just preparing myself ready for a day at Southwell races tomorrow, where I'm going to be working. Well, not for the firm that I normally work for. I normally, obviously, work for Darren and Steve, as many of you know, the Stevie Stretch firm. But tomorrow, no, on a loan deal. Loan deal tomorrow. Paperwork's all been signed. I'm going to be working for the Alan Bennett firm tomorrow, so something a bit different for me. Get to work with my good friend Gary Newsom, who you should follow on Twitter. Good guy. What I'm going to do today, or what I'm going to do tonight, obviously I've been looking at Southwell, and given that the jump racing, Kelso's already off and Doncaster doesn't interest me that much, I have to say. So I'm going to look at the last four races on the card at Southwell tomorrow, the four handicaps, all of which have a sort of degree of interest to certain points. The first of those kicks off at 150 with this Betway Stayers handicap over 2 mile. It's an interesting race in so much as the obvious two that you sort of gravitate towards in terms of track form, Katie Gale and Serenity Now. You know, they both got question marks against them. In the case of Katie Gale, it's what sort of form she's in at the moment after a pretty lacklustre effort last time out. She's got loads of good track form here, stays this trip. If she bounces back to form, then she's got an obvious chance, and 9-1 is going to look very, very generous tomorrow. But, you know, the Mick Appleby as well, not really firing like they should be this winter. I think they moved premises earlier in the year. I think they trained near Peterborough now, and it's not really happened for Mick yet this winter. There's still time, of course, but, you know, at the moment I'm happy to give him a swerve. Serenity Now looks absolutely sort of rock solid for place pots if that's the sort of thing that you're playing tomorrow. Can't see him out of the three. He doesn't win that often, and his resolution's often been in question. I think they sort of keep him away from everything as they're making a challenge tomorrow. If Ben Robinson can do that, then he's got a squeak. But I would rather look elsewhere for the winner. I'm going to take a bit of a flyer with Ruler of the Nile, who has put in a couple of reasonable efforts at Chelmsford recently, and is a course and distance winner here in the past. Does act on this surface. Has thrown a couple of stinkers in on the surface as well. So, you know, again, it's that sort of a race. It's not one for maximum faith, really, but Rule of the Nile is at least running better than a few of these at present. And I think, given that a lot of them, as I say, have got question marks against them, certainly as regards as the suitability of the fibres, and Vercingetorix definitely got question marks against that. Possibly the bottom one as well, Cohen or Diamond, and also Trip with that one. So there's enough in the price at around about sort of 7-1 for me to get interested in Ruler of the Nile in that 150. 225 is the Betway Dash. This over the minimum 5. Interesting race. The pace in the race, there is a little bit of pace. Probably comes from the Scott Dixon pair, or it should do anyway, from Crossfire, who's usually ridden quite prominently. Loads of course form. Crossfire, a regular here. And has gone well around this sort of time of the year before as well. That sort of late December into early January has gone well before. And Penny Dreadful, who is drawn in stall 3. And I think this is a key point here in this race with Penny Dreadful, because Penny Dreadful always gravitates towards her right when she comes out of stalls. So I think she's going to come out, she's going to try and sort of head towards the middle and this sort of stand-side rail, and she might take one or two of the sort of more fancied ones, the likes of Captain Lars, with her. And if she comes across a little bit, she's going to leave it open up the inside for Crossfire from stall 2 to sort of make a beeline for the middle and have it all his own way up the front. I quite like Crossfire each way here. If the dead 8 go to post, I think Crossfire each way would probably be the one that I'm interested in. There are others, of course, of interest. Captain Lars won last time out. That was over 6. It's over 5 here. There's enough pace for Captain Lars to get involved late on. But again, from where Captain Lars, as I say, is drawn, there's a possibility he's going to be... It might need a little bit of luck in running from there, Captain Lars. We'll see. Red Stripes also ran well last week. Just doesn't win enough for me, Red Stripes. So I'm going to stick here, I think, each way with Crossfire. The 3 o'clock is a 6 furlong classified sprint. Fun and games for all the family here. When I looked at this, you know, you sort of, again, you gravitate towards Declamation, who ran well over course and distance behind an improving sort last time out. horse that's really found some form, the name of which escapes me at the moment, but it's won a couple on the bounce. But I just wonder here, I know Getting Lucky's had enough chances at the track, but this is his thing, you know, he likes the fibre sand. He's been placed 3 times from 4 runs here. He's got blazing early speed. He'll certainly lead off the bend, I think. It's a matter of whether the petrol gauge is running out at the half furlong pole. He might have done the damage by then. That's my hope. You know, as much as Getting Lucky, he'll be looking for the line. I'm hoping he's already done the damage by that point. He's drawn 9, which on the face of it looks a poor draw, but it's not. It's actually quite a good draw here. You can win from 9. It's not a bad draw at all. You can get out, get to that bend, and if you can just kick off that bend and open up, again, you know, you're looking at an each way price at around about 10 to 1 for Getting Lucky. I think he's definitely worth consideration. Satchville Flyer would be the other one that's got course form, but it's over further. He's going to get outpaced Satchville Flyer. Now, the sort of flip side of Getting Lucky setting a good pace will be that Satchville Flyer will be coming through late. I think if you're looking for one for your place pots, and it's the last leg of your place pots, probably Satchville Flyer would be the one, because after getting outpaced, he's going to be staying on down the middle pretty strongly in the closing stages. You can certainly see him getting in the frame, and you know, if Getting Lucky is reaching for the oxygen tanks in the last 100 yards, and Satchville Flyer might pick him up. But again, I'm willing to take the chance, you know, each way. It's that sort of a card tomorrow at Southwell. It's a sort of looking at it, and it's a bit of an each way card, I think. So Getting Lucky each way for me in that 3 o'clock, and then we close with this 1 3 Betway handicap. Top weight, the Lot Master would probably pick this lot up and drop them on the best of his form. Again, 3 at Southwell suits him down to the ground, but he's getting on now. He's not really in any great form at all. I find him very hard, very hard to sort of fancy today. Star Ascending is again a perfectly solid each way proposition, beating the odds on last week, but I don't think he did too much wrong, to be honest. And there's nothing wrong particularly with his attitude. He should run his race one more time. But for me, I think, again, you know, looking each way, I'm sort of playing these 4 races in each way doubles, each way trebles. You'll need a sledgehammer to keep Go On Gal out of the frame here. 5 runs at the course, 3 times in the frame, and a win on top of that as well. This is Go On Gal's grade, got a really good record in it, and similarly, as I say, you know, fibre sand is definitely Go On Gal's thing. The trip shouldn't be an issue. Won over a mile 4 last time and had it sewn up a long way out. Goes well, has gone well fresh in the past, so the brake's not an issue either. So I think Go On Gal is absolutely rock solid to run a race. But if you want one at a massive price, if you do want to go silly on this last race and you're trying to sort of dig your way out, I know Monzino's got a dreadful record, but there is a race in Monzino somewhere here at Southwell this winter, and this is bad enough to be it. Phil Dennis takes the ride again, staying on 100 to 1 poke last time out, was staying on over a mile at the death. There's a race, you sort of go back about sort of 4 or 5 runs over a mile and 3 here, where he looked for all the world like he was going to win and win easy. He cruised through that contest. I think it was an amateur riders contest. Cruised through the contest, kicked off the bend, went about 5 lengths clear, traded odds on in running, as I remember that day, and then fell in a massive hole. Absolutely fell in a hole. Ridden with with a bit more restraint than Phil Dennis. I like Phil Dennis. I think Phil Dennis is a good rider. He's an everyday workaday rider, but he's very good at what he does. You might get a run for your money out of Monzino. Certainly, possibly want to trade in running, as I say. Have a little bit on if you're playing Betfair, and then maybe look to sort of trade out at short odds and make yourself a few quid out of it. But Go On Gal each way will do for me in the last. Best of luck with all your bets today, guys. Back tomorrow with Saturday's card. I'll be writing that up a bit later on tomorrow. There's a lot of double entries, and I've been looking at the cards. There's quite a few entries for both sort of Haydock and Newbury in those staying chasers and the like. So it'll be all about where certain horses go tomorrow. I've got my eye on one for the staying chase. Cheers, guys. Best of luck.